Backyard Bullion here. Now today we have an update for you all on the Royal Mail having nearly destroyed £5,000 worth of my silver situation. If you haven't checked out that original video I did outlining the entire situation, there's a link to it down below. In a nutshell, sending a big parcel of silver up to the Edinburgh Assay Office to get these lovely hallmarks put on. It was given an erroneous designation of prohibited or restricted items, and it was indicated that the entire parcel had been disposed of, which is obviously very worrying. There were also a myriad of other customer service related issues, questions about whether or not the parcel had been opened and inspected en route as well. And then on the return leg, it was left on my doorstep. So lots of things went wrong with this one particular parcel, and that video, it did very well, lots of views on it, and a big thank you to everybody who sent that video to people at Royal Mail, because it did not go unnoticed. It seems like the CEO himself saw that video and has instructed one of his exec team members to reach out to me to actually investigate and liaise and sort out the situation so that I get a better understanding of what's happened, so in the future hopefully it won't happen again. So we've got that update to share with you. There's quite a lot to go through here today. If you have any questions or anything that you want to ask about this parcel and this situation, there's a link down below to the Silver Forum where we've got a really good thread going about this whole situation. Or feel free to drop me an email. My email is down in the description below. So first off, credit where credit's due. I do want to reach out and say thank you to this exec member at the Royal Mail for all of his hard work in getting this investigation done. It's very refreshing to have that experience with somebody who replies to emails, instantaneously, who's even phoned me directly, has given me his mobile number so I can contact him directly as well. It's really refreshing, certainly when we had experiences on the customer service hotline that were less than refreshing. That's the first update that I want to share with you all. So in my big update video, or my big first video I made, there was a situation where I'd rung the Royal Mail customer service team, waited for ages, finally got through to somebody, paused as they looked at the notes and the information, and there was an audible sigh, and then they hung up the phone, which is not great. So this exec team member felt very strongly about that it's not the way that the Royal Mail should work, and I agree totally. And he was asking for the time I made the call, the phone number I called from, and to locate that call, identify the call handler, and discipline appropriately. I've parked that kind of complaint to one side. I don't want somebody to be disciplined. I don't want somebody to lose their job for potentially what is a bad day or just something that went wrong in the office on that day. It's just not who I am, especially in this world where people are working very hard despite really adverse conditions. It's not for me. It's just one phone call. It really isn't. It's just not worth it. So we parked that issue, but it's nice to see that the Royal Mail are taking it seriously. Now, the next bit of the puzzle, which was about the wrong designation on the parcel itself and the question of whether or not it was opened and inspected. A lot of people out there have said in the comments of my original video that they think it was a way by which people were concealing the fact that they were about to steal the contents of the parcel. So that was the major concern for me. Of course, any savvy person could Google the address that it's going to and work out that it's going to an assay office, and one would imagine then that there's going to be precious metals inside or items of value. So I do know that there have been targeted mail thefts in the past to assay offices, to and from assay offices, but I genuinely don't think that's what's happened here, judging on all of the updates that I'm about to share with you from this exec member at the Royal Mail after his investigation. I don't think that's happened. There was questions about whether or not the parcel itself was opened, and what I've done is I've gone back to the Edinburgh Assay Office and asked them for proof as to whether it was opened or not, because the Royal Mail couldn't locate any evidence to show that it had been opened en route. Now, the Edinburgh Assay Office have a quite strict procedure on whether or not if they handle an item that has been damaged en route or opened en route, and they usually would take a lot of photos, perhaps even video that parcel being opened to protect themselves as well as just generally have evidence for any potential losses and thefts. That didn't happen in this situation, but I can swear blindly that the person I spoke to at the other end on that day had told me that it had been opened, that there was evidence of that. Now, I don't know whether that's just because they've forgotten to do this. There isn't any evidence now to say that it has or hasn't been opened. I'm going to say that it probably hasn't, which is a different tact, of course, from where we are. The evidence is suggesting that it hasn't. If the Edinburgh Assay Office have these procedures in place, it's one of two things. Either they didn't do that procedure or it didn't happen. So judging on the evidence that I'm about to share from the Royal Mail, I'm going to say that it didn't. So I don't think this is a theft type situation. It's more likely that it's just an outdated system error, which is where we're going to come to now. So this is just me going to be reading out the report that I got from this exec member, and hopefully you'll get a good understanding of what's gone wrong and how it went wrong and what we can learn from this going forward. So he writes, "Thank you very much for allowing me the time to thoroughly address your complaint. As promised in our recent telephone call, I said I would write to you with the full outcome as soon as possible. I would firstly like to apologise for the erroneous information that was displayed on the Royal Mail track and trace facility that stated your special delivery item had been disposed of as the contents breached the transport regulations and Royal Mail's terms and conditions. To understand what happened, he contacted the mail centre manager. They advised that under no condition is any employee authorised to open and inspect a parcel within their unit. This rule also applies to the Edinburgh Mail Centre, who also handled the item. Dangerous, restricted and prohibited items do often get posted through the Royal Mail network. As such, we have a robust process in place to identify and safely remove them from the network. Items that we identify containing such contents are forwarded to our National Return Centre to be opened under secure conditions and thoroughly inspected by our specialist dangerous goods teams. This is where items that are confirmed to be harmful, prohibited or restricted are securely disposed of. Although the tracking information suggested otherwise, I can confirm that your item was not sent for inspection. The mail centre manager also assured me that there were no known operational problems and your item was processed and dispatched as expected to be forwarded to Edinburgh. I am told this is done by Stansted Airport." So he subsequently then got in touch with Stansted Airport, and he writes, "Then I got in touch with Stansted Air Hub manager, who has spent a considerable amount of time to uncover exactly what happened to your item. He explained, to ensure the safety of our employees, customers and the general public, it is necessary for every item to be x-rayed before loaded onto a plane. It was explained to me that solid metal items flag up on x-rays as they are very dense. Dense items cannot be flown due to Civil Aviation Authority regulations as they can conceal, that's a very important difference, as they can conceal explosive devices. As such, our X-ray mail screeners are trained to remove these items. We have reviewed the CCTV footage and observed an employee screening and removing your item from the mail bag unopened. The employee scanned the item's barcode and placed it in a York for its travel safely by road. I presume a York is some kind of storage unit or pallet of some kind, I don't know. Previously, dense items used to be sent for inspection to the dangerous goods team. However, they are now forwarded to the next point in the journey by road. This would explain why the track and trace facility advised that your item had been disposed of. It should not have happened. This has been noted and we are looking into alternative scanning updates. I understand that you have concerns that somebody may have attempted to intercept your parcel. We are confident that this has not been the case and we have not found any evidence of this. However, I understand it's very alarming, so I have reported this incident to our security team to let them know the condition the item was delivered in. And that's where I go back to the situation with the Edinburgh Assay Office and whether or not it's genuinely has been opened. It's really frustrating that all I have to go on now is an unrecorded audio conversation on the phone with a member of staff at the Edinburgh Assay Office. A bit frustrating. But nevertheless, the Royal Mail are still going to take it very seriously. They've, as they say here, they've reported this incident to the security team to let them know the condition the item was delivered in. They will use this report in their continual work to identify problem areas. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Lastly, they then summarise the situation of the doorstepping incident. I'm not going to read that whole bit out. Basically, they've identified the postie concerned and retraining will happen. So that's good. So that's basically the update, that we have essentially an outdated sort of system that you basically won't have really dense items flown, which is a little bit puzzling because other parcels that I've sent of similar sizes and density and complexity have always flown, have always got there first time. This is not a usual situation. And I have had on the opposite end route from Edinburgh to me that things have been delayed by a day, and that's the same situation. They have had the situation where it's not been able to fly, it's put on a lorry, and off it comes a day late. So that's where I've experienced this before, but never coming from where I am to the Edinburgh Assay Office. So interesting that it seems to happen on this one parcel. We're going to take this all with a pinch of salt. I think what we can take away and learn from this is that sending dense metals in the post is an interesting experience to say the least. I've certainly learned a lot from this situation, and I also intend to make a follow-up video outline some tips, hints, tricks, and what I am going to be doing from now on with regards special delivery items and specifically sending silver or gold in the post in the UK and even abroad, because there's a lot of new information that I've worked out and seen from this situation which it makes me think about how I want to operate in the future. So there's a lot of really good things that have come out from this situation. As anxious as I was and as annoyed as I was about the whole process and situation, I think a lot of good has come from this, and I want to say a personal thank you again to this exec team member for the help and assistance that they've given in sorting this situation out. To all of you guys and gals out there who've been following this story and asking for updates and sharing this video to people on the Royal Mail team. So yeah, I do genuinely think this is a good outcome. It's better than I expected, to be honest. When I made that video, I didn't really expect anything. So to actually have this has really been quite good. There are going to be some naysayers out there that are going to say that perhaps the Royal Mail haven't told me the whole truth. I don't think that's the case. I think that they've taken this exceptionally seriously and they're not hiding anything. There's no conspiracies going on here. There are going to be a few people out there as well that will say that perhaps I've had preferential treatment because I've got a big social media profile and I made a video moaning about it. Yeah, I'm going to kind of agree with them on that. I genuinely would be interested to find out how they would handle a situation had I not been, a big YouTuber or somebody with thousands of subscribers or people, followers that would send videos out to the exec members on their staff. So there's definitely questions about that, but you've got to give credit where credit's due in any particular situation, and for the Royal Mail exec team to pay this attention and to sort it out is good. But one would like to think in a perfect world that it wouldn't take a YouTube video with thousands of views to get that kind of attention. So all told, let's move on with life from this. There is going to be a video, as I said, probably in the next week or so, about posting items, special delivery and precious metals in the post, and I like to think that's going to be a pretty cool video. There's a lot of information there which I want to dissect and give out to everybody, because there's a lot of things which people misinterpret, and I've been misinterpreting too, which are really, really critical and important. So thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this whole situation, on the outcome, on what's happened. I'd be really intrigued to get your opinions. Please do so respectfully though. We're not here to garner any ridiculous conspiracy theories or be rude at individuals or people. This is all about learning and moving on with life. So please comment respectfully. Otherwise, if you've been enjoying these bars, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of the video coming tomorrow where we do the big grand reveal. There's going to be all 150 of these 100 grammars sitting out on the table. Big reveal, big release, lots going on. So make sure that you subscribe for that video if you've not done so already. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you all for thank you all for waffling on. I'm the one that waffles. A big thank you to all you BYB Rambling Societies who have been listening to me waffle on. And as I was about to say, thank you for watching, not waffling. And see you on the next one. Please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.